Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the AEW Dynamite Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. As you see right here, face to face, Adam Cole versus MJF. MJF and Adam Cole in a non-title world title no one contenders eliminator match. Adam Cole get him a shot at the world championship by defeating champion MJF. We'll talk about that coming up. As well as this familiar face. CM Punk returns, but video message and states that he's coming back this Saturday for Collision. What CM Punk's going to get off his chest, we'll talk about it coming up. As well as this Pretty Boy Sonata. Sonata showing up on AEW on video message. He wants someone to step up to face him for the IWGP World Championship. Who's going to step up? Plus, these two legends right here, Sting and Chris Jericho, meet face to face. Who's gonna flinch first between Sting and Chris Jericho? That's gonna be a sight to see, and a lot more matches as the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report, and it starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and sharing. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, Pro Wrestling Show is here. So we're going to kick things off with this. Between Adam Cole and MJF, we know it's been a world of words between these two, back and forth since last week. MJF trying to say Adam Cole. He looked up to Adam Cole right after he had felt disappointed by CM Punk. And MJF and Adam Cole had that one-on-one match. Adam Cole looking to get an opportunity to take on MJF for the World Championship. MJF telling about all the special matches he's been in, and MJF had to prove it tonight. MJF even did a side headlock, even had this elbow pad you see right here on your upper right corner, saying Vince was right, trying to rub it in Adam Cole's face. And Adam Cole was likely, if he was still on the WWE, would have been a manager. But Adam Cole chose to opt out from that. He wanted to be a world champion. MJF saying that Adam Cole don't have the potential like Vince McMahon sees Adam Cole as not being a world champion but a manager. But Adam Cole wants to prove those not. They say it's wrong and to win this match. And Adam Cole won the match by defeating MJF. Adam Cole gets an opportunity for the world championship, and we'll see if he make most of it. It was a little bit of a low blow from what's his name to say that, but Adam Cole gets the shot at MJF by winning the match. So Adam Cole and MJF will meet sometime down the road for the world championship. We just don't know when and where, but we know Adam Cole is finally gonna get a shot at the world championship. Well, we got a familiar face. This familiar face that CM Punk, that MJF like to call was his favorite wrestler. CM Punk made his first appearance on Dynamite since September of last year. Since that brawl or that squabble you like to call, CM Punk made his intentions known that he's teaming up with FTR in a six-man tag team match against Bullet Club Gold, Chris, Bullet Club Gold, Jay Lethal, and Juice Robinson and Samoa Joe. CM Punk back this Saturday. We'll have a full recap this Saturday coming up for the Collision Ring Report this Saturday. So look forward to seeing that. Speaking of that, a meeting the first time between these two icons, Sting and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho tried to intimidate Sting. Sting wasn't flinching. He was unbothered. Chris Jericho looked at like he was shocked and appalled, but you can't flinch down Sting. Sting, one of the all-time greats. Sting even proved that he can still go. Sting was in action. Chris Jericho was trying to see what Sammy Guevara's answer was going to be and whose side is Sammy going to be on. I think we found out that Chris Jericho's team may have to go down one way or another before Sting wraps up his career sometime. Well, speaking of the icon Sting teamed up with international champion Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Keith Lee to take on the team of the Mughal Embassy of Shane Strickland, Taya, Brian Cage, and Khan. Um, that match was indeed a war. Sting taking it out on everybody tonight. Sting even took it out on everyone. Did the Stinger Splash. You did the Shane Strickland. Sting like he still go. Like we know, Sting is winding it down. Sting even got the help of Keith Lee and everybody else. One day, the Stinger will get the job done. And I know Sting from the late '80s to the early '90s throughout, his resurrection back to Impact. Sting did his thing, and Sting helped his team win with the help. So hey, Sting, good guy. I'll tell you that right now. But speaking of that, TNT champion Warlow defended his championship against Jake Hager. Warlow, Jake Hager, no strangers towards each other. You remember the early days of AEW when they used to try to beat the holy crap out of each other? Well, Warlow retained his TNT championship, but there was a price. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came out of nowhere and destroyed Arn Anderson, left Arn Anderson a bully poke. I think Arn Anderson didn't see it coming. I tell you that right now. So we know Warlow would defend the TNT championship against Luchasaurus to get revenge over what happened to Arn Anderson later on in the show. So we'll see that. Hopefully. Speaking of that, Orange Cassidy coming out the heels of his win that huge 8-man tag team match gets called out and confronted by Zack Sabres Jr. And Zack Sabres Jr., everyone from New Japan showing up. Zack Sabres Jr. wants a shot at the International Championship. Sabres Jr. is the television champion of New Japan. He wants to add more gold and more ways than one. To add gold is to win the International Championship. He's going to do so if he can. So the match made official. Orange Cassidy will take on Zack Sabres Jr. one-on-one. We'll see that. Well, Sonata made an open challenge the current New Japan World Champion, IWGP World Champion. Now looking more clean cut than ever. He looked at a year ago, looked like he had a beard and looked like a wild man, but now he's more clean cut. Sonata issued a challenge. They were open challenge to anyone who would accept. Well, the person that accept is this Jungle Boy and Hook. Jungle Boy in particular wants to accept the challenge. So Jungle Boy will be accepting the challenge. He'll be taking on Sonata one-on-one for the IWGP World Championship. So I guess we're gonna see it. Sonata versus Jungle Boy for the World Championship. This was a pretty look right now. The current world champion Sonata IWGP will take on Jungle Boy at Forbidden Door, as well as MJF will take on Hiroshi Tanahashi. So MJF issued a challenge to Hiroshi Tanahashi, want to challenge MJF. MJF told Tanahashi that he's booked. Well, Tony Khan is going to make that official. So Tony Khan making MJF defend the AEW title against Hiroshi Tanahashi one-on-one. So the current world champions of their respective brands, New Japan and AEW, will be having title defenses. Sonata will be defending the world championship, his New Japan IWGP World Championship against Jungle Boy, and MJF will defend his AEW World Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi. We've seen that. And speaking of MJF, he will have to defend that world championship if he is still a champion against Adam Cole. We'll see. Speaking of that, Toni Storm was in action. She took on no one contender Sky Blue, and Toni Storm didn't wrap up. Sky Blue, who's been on a roll, didn't get the win, but Toni Storm picking up the win for her team one-on-one. So good for Toni Storm, but Will Nightingale in the midst of everything. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Speaking of that, we found out why the Gun Boys did what they did to Ricky Starks. The Gun Boys are in a alliance with Bullet Club Gold, so that could be the possibilities of why we saw what we saw. But hey, it is what we is. So we'll see. Well, like we told you, uh, Andrade returns. He'll take on Buddy Matthews one-on-one on Collision. Andrade versus Buddy Matthews one-on-one. It's going to be a fight to see, a good fight to see between these two athletic men. Andrade back in action this Saturday live on Collision on TNT. Well, this was the main event. A huge six-man tag team match. The Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. The Elite, like to say, we're all-star in AEW in Washington, D.C. They came out wearing some the Three Musketeer gear or whatever that communist thing or whatever Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin did that movie. But you know what I'm talking about. Well, it was that fast, furious. It was all over the place. It was like a full brawl. We even saw the return of Eddie Kingston attacking Claudio. They're having a program on Ring of Honor. Eddie Kingston and Claudio, they can't stand each other. And that's what they did. Ken Omega tried to help make the save, but little to his known, he got attacked by Will Ospreay. Ospreay making a scene, making a statement. Ospreay trying to make his statement loud and clear that he wants to be the one in control. Ospreay taking down Ken Omega, making Omega looking weak and and defenseless. We'll see that match between them two at Forbidden Door as well. So it's going to be a huge Forbidden Door between Ken Omega and Will Ospreay. Also, too, Collision. As you see right here, CM Punk will team up with FTR to take on Samoa Joe and Juice Robinson. We'll see that match this Saturday on Collision, the main event. Speaking of that, another match, Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson. That is a dream match that everyone's been wanting to see, but we're waiting to see. Never thought we'll get to see it, but we're going to see it. This on Forbidden Door. I think this Forbidden Door is going to be more popular. I would probably see it, but I'll probably get it on tape or something, on DVD or something. You know, it looks like it's pretty good, but it should have been on Max or something. But hey, we'll see. But yeah, Forbidden Door coming your way. A lot of interesting matches. We'll have to wait and see on those matches and see how this is going to go. All right. That's going to do it for the Pro Wrestling Show this week for the AEW. Well, for till Saturday. We know that this Saturday, AEW Collision, the Ring Report, Part 2. We're adding and expanding our AEW Ring Report. So you'll get AEW Dynamite, and now you'll get Collision. Don't know how long Collision is going to be, but we're going to do it for the coverage of CM Punk returning to AEW in almost a year. It's 8 months absence. He's coming back in a 6-man tag team match with tag team champions FTR to take on Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. Here's the main event. All right, we're going to end that right now here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We're going to end it with Will Ospreay attacking Ken Omega, left him out laying. Will Ospreay got some explaining to do. I guess they boosted up for the road to Forbidden Door. All right. We'll see you this weekend for the SmackDown Ring Report and the AEW Collision Ring Report. And your host, Kenny D, says so long, and y'all have a good night.